their own hard copy of Nectar of Devotion, so that we can highlight the points which we feel important, which connect to us based on our discussion, based on our understanding, and they are available for easy reference during second revision, during third revision. Otherwise, each time we go for reading Nectar of Devotion, we will need equally long time. So can I just take a pause here and ask devotees if any one of you are still studying Nectar of Devotion using the online copy of the book rather than having the physical hard copy?
Let them show if they have.
I'm studying, Prabhuji.
Let them
Thank
show.
you. Yeah, if you could just share your video, and feel free to like, it's a small group, so don't feel shy or embarrassed. Okay. Anybody
So,
still?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I don't have book, Prabhuji. I don't have.
Sure, Valamati.
No.
So you can
Prabhuji,
get
I
it.
have the book, but right now I don't have. I'm out of stations. That's it.
Okay, noted,
Yeah,
Mother.
Prabhuji, I also don't have the book. I am doing online.
Sure. So you don't have to answer individually. Just one question, like if you don't have the hard copy, please do get your hard copy from nearby temple, or you can also order online, because studying Nectar of Devotion online, I personally feel is quite a task. You can't really highlight, you can't really use it for future reference, whatever points you have noted. Whereas in hard copy, we can underline whichever point we want. We can also make a small note. What does this paragraph or what does this portion of the chapter refer to? Right? So this is the first request. Do get your own hard copy. Second point, while studying Nectar of Devotion, which I had also referred to last time, is there are sections where Srila Rupa Goswami is either himself quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or Srila Prabhupada himself is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Please mute yourself if you are not speaking. Yeah. So what do we do is, wherever, like say for example, I've just opened a random page. Okay, I've not opened any specific page. This is the chapter, the first stages of devotion. I believe it is chapter 2, and second last page of this particular chapter, Srila Prabhupada, sorry, not Srila Prabhupada, Srila Rupa Goswami is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam. So it goes like this. There is a similar statement by Sri Krishna himself to Uddhava in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 27th chapter, verse 49. So take a pause here. Note down the verse Srila Rupa Goswami is referring to. Either open Veda base, or better, if you have your own personal copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, go to 11th canto, 27th chapter, text 49. Read the verse, the translation, Srila Prabhupada's commentary. Come back to this particular paragraph and see the context in which Srila Rupa Goswami is quoting this particular verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and relate the commentary by Srila Prabhupada in this paragraph plus the purport given by Srila Prabhupada in the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam verse. Then you can correlate the two. Otherwise, it will simply remain reading. And there are a lot of references by Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada. In some of the references, Srila Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami have given the specific verse numbers. There are also quotations and references from Bhagavad Gita where Srila Prabhupada has given the translation, and that will come only by some reading of Srila Prabhupada book. Which is that verse Srila Prabhupada is referring to? Let me try to find an example. Say for example, I won't give a specific section from NOD, but say for example, Srila Prabhupada is talking about Bhakti and is referring to the significance of the verb bhaja, the importance of bhaja. Can we relate to which particular chapter, which particular section Srila Prabhupada also gives the significance of the word bhaja in Bhagavad Gita? So go to that particular chapter, go to that particular verse, and then try to relate the two. That way, our study of the particular chapter will be very, very thorough, and it won't remain the reading. So this is one point. 2 points we discussed. One is to have the hard copy. Second is to go through each and every reference of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada in terms of specific verse and go and read the translation and purport of that particular verse. So please raise your hand if you have any question or comment on this. And third particular point is, when we are reading, studying Nectar of Devotion, please don't jump sections. You can jump sections later on once you have had at least one good reading from front to back. That means start with the preface, start with the introduction, and I will also cover some points from this preface introduction that we covered as part of our session 1. And to get these points in detail, you need to have some context in terms of who is Srila Rupa Goswami. We have discussed it thoroughly in preface section. I have also given in the slide. Srila Prabhupada also mentions in the preface what is the significance of Srila Rupa Goswami for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, for the followers of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that won't come if you jump the sections and directly go to chapter 1 for your reading. We must go through preface, introduction, step by step. Second point about NOD, and which in fact I again stress, it is much simpler compared to Bhagavad Gita. The chapters are much smaller, maybe 6-7 pages or even 9 to 10 pages long. Whereas Bhagavad Gita, if we have to study one chapter with the verse, translation, purport, and even word to word translation, it will probably take one full day or even little less than that. Even for chapters which are bigger, say second chapter or chapter number 18, it might take even longer if we have to write end to end. Whereas for Nectar of Devotion, in one sitting we can cover 2, 3, 4 chapters, so it's quite smaller compared to Bhagavad Gita. Any particular question or comment anybody wants to share on this? Namanishta Prabhuji, you want to share anything on this, Prabhuji?
It's fine. It's fine.
Aishwarya Subhadra Mataji, you want to share anything, Mataji, on this?
Hi, Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. No,
Wonderful.
Prabhu, yeah, that's the nice way of learning it by going to reference, because when we preach, they mostly ask us what's the reference of your statement. So it's a very nice comparative study. And as you said, Prabhu, we should not jump to sections because Nectar of Devotion is very, very deep. In fact, it's very deep that we won't be able to understand most of it. So that's why we have only the first 19 chapters to be read, even though it has other commentaries. Yes, Prabhu, so we can do a systematic study. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Aishwarya Mataji. So coming back to this section, there are no shlokas in NOD. Yeah, so there is one particular question, and this was also asked by devotees earlier. I'll just read out the question. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, there are no shlokas in the NOD book, but you are teaching them. Where to get them? I can share with you the PDF which is available, plus which was also kindly shared by Murli Prabhu. I just need to get concurrence from Namanishta Prabhu. But shlokas, to be very honest, if you see the questions that will come, or if you see the flows, the shlokas are just to get the link. Otherwise, the whole points that we are filling in the slides or discussing are all from Srila Prabhupada's commentary on the particular chapter. Okay, so we can share that, Rajashri Mataji, that is not a problem, but the discussion and the recollection as well as the writing down of the assignment answers for NOD will not happen based on individual verses from the NOD. It will happen based on the points and the theme that Srila Prabhupada is taking us through. Okay. Another important point is, many of us may have got used to the way of study, and which I won't say is ideal during Bhagavad Gita time, that we attend the particular discussion for a particular chapter, say for example chapter 7, then we have reference in terms of the questionnaire, then we have reference in terms of the sections of the particular chapter which are given in the slides, and then we sit to read Bhagavad Gita, reading particular verse and the translation and purport. But this particular method of study will not work for NOD. We will have to have one proper reading of the chapters before we come for the particular session. Now, some of you have been asking, Prabhuji, can we publish the exact chapter numbers? My request to all of you is, say, for example, can anyone raise hand and mention which specific chapters we are mentioned in our last session, till which chapter we have covered so far? We had mentioned this a couple of times in our discussion.
Up to 5, Prabhuji.
Yes, Murli Prabhu, perfect. So we covered basically chapter 3, 4, 5 in our last session. So have we at least read properly from preface to chapter 5? And if no particular chapter is announced on the group, let us presume to read next 2 chapters coming for this session, say chapter 6 and 7. But as I mentioned, today we won't go into the details of chapter 6 and 7 because we want to cover what we want to revise what we have covered so far. So do read the chapters in sync with the classes, and even if you go beyond, that is fine. Say if you have finished reading till chapter 10, for example, still for coming for today's discussion, it would help to cover chapter 6 and 7 if we were going in our regular flow. So don't follow the methodology if you were following that way of attending the session, getting the slides, and then trying to go back to the chapter. Don't do the reverse engineering. Let's read the chapter, come once, prepared for the session, and then after this discussion, if you need to go back, you can just do a quick revision. And as I mentioned, revising these chapters is relatively easier compared to revising Bhagavad Gita. They are not too lengthy, just that we need to go systematically. So there is
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, P.S. Murthy Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, in the last class, you had mentioned that you would only take salient features of a chapter.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Does that mean that we only concentrate on the salient features, or we are supposed to read the entire chapter and prepare for the chapter for the exam also on our own?
Yes, Prabhuji. So very good question by Murthy Prabhu. So it's very important while reading, we don't skip anything. We read the entire chapter. Not only we read, I seriously request all of you to underline the points which you feel important or which you feel being stressed as part of our discussion. Why? Because there are no verses to connect. Otherwise, the flow. The only connection is the points you note down in terms of underlining it or in terms of making a small note and referring it in conjunction with the slides. So to come back to P.S. Murthy Prabhu's question, we should read the entire chapter, and they are not big, they are quite small. In fact, I go through them 1 or 2 times just to make sure that no point remains missed in what I am preparing. So we should go to the entire chapter, P.S. Murthy Prabhu. Through the discussion, it may not be possible for us to touch upon every single point Srila Prabhupada is making. So that is as far as the weekend discussion is concerned. But preparation should be for the whole chapter.
Thanks,
Okay?
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. There is also a question, would that mean that there would be no shloka recitation from NOD? There won't be shloka recitation from the NOD verses as such, but it is very, very helpful, Guru Nishtha Mataji, if we know some of these verses. Say, for example, definition of pure devotional service. Knowing this verse is very, very important, so that in proper context, if the audience is suitable, we can use the verse to explain the concept of pure devotional service with the help of Srila Rupa Goswami's own words. So it is definitely beneficial, though we need not by heart all the verses to start with, but we can memorize the important ones.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Definition. Also, one more thing, of course, we don't want to study it just for the examination, but those of us who are aspiring for initiation expect these particular basics of bhakti to be asked as part of your evaluation. What is pure devotional service? What are definitions of pure devotional service given by various authorities in our sampradaya? Then we should be able to relate the two. Srila Rupa Goswami has given a definition. Narada Muni has given a definition. Can we quote those? So there these verses will come handy. So these are definitely helpful, though to start with it will be a bit overwhelming if we try to refer all the verses of NOD. At least refer the important ones like definition. Aishwarya Subhadra Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji, please go ahead.
Hi Krishna Prabhu. So I think the Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education, they recommend at least 4 verses from NOD. So are you
Sure.
sure it's not there for the exam? Because it's given like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11, 12. I mean, 4 verses they have recommended as
Sure,
an exam.
Mataji. Let me refer to MI handbook as well, and even I will refer to VIHE, and we will share
Yes,
those verses, Mataji, not an issue. Just that
yes,
each
yes, Prabhu.
chapter, thank you, Mataji. Each chapter has got a Sanskrit verse, so maybe to start with, refer to these 4 important verses, and then if you still feel, you can go to the subsequent verses. But first cover the important verses, these 3, 4, and the context, the points. Let me see. Where are the verses to memorize? Sujata Mataji, we will share it, and we also have a PDF which we will share. Just that in the PDF for now, to start with, just refer to the verses we will be quoting. So I'll share it after this session on the WhatsApp group. Okay. So is there any other point, question or comment before we go to the slides? All right, one more important point. Some of the devotees I have seen, not all, okay, and this I have observed session after session, that devotees are very enthusiastic in terms of participation when we are having interactive discussion, say one-on-one. But when it comes to group exercise, we see some of the devotees dormant. Either they are present, but they are not actively participating in groups, or they are dropping out of the session, not thinking group discussion as one of the important activity, which is again a problem, because if you see the topics selected for group discussion, all of them are from the either the open book essays or open book questions for the particular chapter. And the objective behind having these group discussions is so that we are able to churn in terms of referring to those verses, those sections of Srila Prabhupada books which are relevant to the point being discussed, and inspire each other to go thoroughly in those particular chapters. So if we don't participate actively in group discussion, we are missing out on a very major important point in NOD studies. So my request to all the devotees is, please actively participate in these group discussion sessions. They are not meant as a formality, they are meant to cover the specific topic in great detail. We shouldn't have to have the devotee who is coordinating request second time, third time for devotees to unmute to contribute. That should not be the case. So Murli Prabhu is asking about questionnaire. Questionnaire we can share, but my only worry is we again don't want devotees to be focusing just on the questions to prepare for the exam. Otherwise, the point will be lost for NOD. So please do study the entire, we will share the questionnaire for sure.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. That's the questionnaire is basically guides us, even in Bhagavad Gita also. The questions really guided us to how to look at the chapter in a very, in a systematic way.
Holistic way. Okay,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we'll share that.
Yes, that's the only reason, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. All right, so let me share the screen now. Are you able to see the screen? Can any one devotee confirm?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So on a very high level, in terms of analyzing the entire NOD, what we are going to study, which means chapter 1 to chapter 19, there are 6 particular divisions of this. 1 second. Yeah. 6 particular sections of NOD that we study as part of Bhakti Shastri. First section we saw was understanding even before section 1, we saw in great detail as part of our preface study and as part of introduction, the position of Srila Rupa Goswami for the followers of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is even before beginning of section 1. Because if we don't understand the context, what has been his uh, contribution to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, how Srila Rupa Goswami inherited and imbibed the mood and mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself acknowledged it, and how Srila Prabhupada basically taught us how we are known as Rupa Nugal, the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. What is the significance of this particular personality? Then we also saw how much stress Srila Prabhupada gave on this particular book for the practicing devotees. We discussed about this was the first series of classes which Srila Prabhupada had videotaped. Basically, the video photography was conducted, and Srila Prabhupada's own classes which he gave at Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi were recorded for future reference by the devotees, and these are available on YouTube as well. And we also discussed how Srila Prabhupada, for whenever he used to speak outside, sorry, there is some disturbance. Can devotees who are not speaking mute, please? Yeah, so this was the first series of classes which Srila Prabhupada spoke outside in English, and he mentioned that these are specifically meant for my devotees, practicing devotees. Then we come to the start of the first particular section, which is understanding position of Lord Krishna as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. And I'm going into bit detail into each of these section in the subsequent slides. So we won't cover too much of a detail here. So we discussed how Lord Krishna, understanding Lord Krishna as the Akhila Rasamrita Murti. That means he is the source of all different types of rasas. He is the origin of all different types of rasas, and understanding his position as such is the primary goal of this whole study of Nectar of Devotion. Then we also went into the detail of the definition of pure devotional service as given by Srila Rupa Goswami, including its original and the marginal characteristics. Anya abhilasita sunyam jnana karma anavritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhakti uttama. And then we went into the details of the 6 characteristics. Like we saw 2 of these 6 characteristics are for sadhana bhakti, then 2 plus 2, 4 are for the bhava bhakti, and 2 plus 2 plus 6, all 6 are for prema bhakti. And what are the prerequisites, the eligibility criteria for a devotee to take up to devotional service? We also saw how this purification process happens and what all various stages are mentioned in advancement of one devotional service. Then we saw the categorization of the devotional service in terms of the initial stage, which is also called devotional service in practice, which is anya abhilasita sunyam, which is basically the cultivation of devotional service engaging our senses, 11 senses that we discussed. We will go into the detail in the subsequent slides. And basically the sadhana bhakti covers the maximum portion of Nectar of Devotion that we study as part of Bhakti Shastri. And then a small portion after that, but nonetheless it's very important, which is the conclusion of sadhana bhakti, the next stage, which is the preliminary stage of perfection, bhava bhakti, the devotional service in ecstasy. And then finally we will conclude with prema bhakti, devotional service in the topmost stage, in pure love of God. So any question on this particular point before we proceed? Sorry, there is one chat. No, okay, Mataji. So we proceed. Sujata Mataji wanted to ask something.
Yes, Prabhuji. Like, how do we relate these 6 points towards the chapters, Prabhuji? Like, the first one will be for introduction. Is it the first and second, and
Yeah.
then
So,
that also will give us some idea, Prabhuji.
yeah. So you are basically asking the mapping of the chapters with these points, right?
With these points, yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
So,
Because then we will at least we have these points and we can just go through them.
sure, Mataji. So position of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada stress on nectar of devotion, preface. Okay. Position of Lord Krishna as the Akhila Rasam, Akhila, what is that word? Akhila Rasamrita Murti, that is as part of the introduction. Okay. Then definition of pure devotional service, chapter 1. Then 6 characteristics of pure devotional service, chapter 1 and 2. So this is the point, like some of the points you will see overlapping between the chapters. So don't get confused, because Srila Prabhupada has not made it verse wise, but has made it theme wise, his own commentary. Okay, and then sadhana bhakti. Let me open.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. From 2 onwards, Sadhana Bhakti starts.
Yeah, so sadhana bhakti starts and it goes till quite long, almost till chapter 14 if we talk about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, and Raganuga bhakti will be 15, 16. So this we will go through one by one, Sujata Mataji, as we proceed with the slides. Okay. Point.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
4 onwards.
Prabhuji, one more point.
Yes, Murli Prabhu.
Yeah. What I suggest is at regular intervals, if we come back to this slide, yes,
Sure,
and
sure.
review the, yeah, then the concepts get more into our brain, Prabhuji.
Crystallized, yeah.
Sure,
Prabhuji.
sure,
Yes.
sure, Prabhuji. Mapping of the chapters. I've just noted down what all I need to come back on the group. So memorization, mapping, questionnaire, and noted on this point, Murli Prabhu, Sujata Mataji. So we proceed. Yeah. So this particular point we just saw in detail. From preface, we understand Srila Rupa Goswami's position. Now, this one point is like just the book itself won't build 100% of our understanding and appreciation as far as some portions of nectar of devotion are concerned. Like say, for example, Srila Rupa Goswami. Important point for this is if we regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam classes, if we hear examples which Namanishta Prabhu, Aishwarya Mataji or other speakers are giving in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrut, gradually the context will get clear. So that doesn't mean we wait for that to read, we read properly. But even if we don't understand a point 100%, feel free to come back to mention that particular point or mention that particular example if we have not gotten it. I'll give you a scenario. Say we discuss one particular point, how devotees are the devotee teachers, the acharyas, they are very, very thorough, and a madhyam adhikari bhakta is able to support each point he is mentioning with the support of the scriptures. And we discussed the example of Srila Jiva Goswami defending his own spiritual master Srila Rupa Goswami in front of the Digvijay Pandit. What was the name of the Digvijay Pandit?
Keshav Kashmiri Prabhu.
No, Keshav Kashmiri is from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. Here is the different one who had come to sign the certificate from Rupa Goswami, and he gave the signature straight away. So anyway, the point we were mentioning was that how Jiva Goswami was systematically able to defeat this Digvijay Pandit by giving references from the scriptures. At the same time, Rupa Goswami externally became very upset by Jiva Goswami, saying that Vrindavan is not the place for such proud persons and you are not fit to stay more. So there are various points coming out of this story. So if you have not heard this past time, feel free to ask second time or even one-on-one, so that we can give references from Srila Prabhupada's books where probably you can go into the details to get a more context of it. But don't try to let it pass by whether you getting it 100%, if you have found it in the slide or if you have noted down as part of our discussion, because not everything will be revealed in great detail within the same book. As such, we will have to refer different books of Srila Prabhupada for this. Okay. Important point also, which you will find this question mentioned in lot of chapters as part of open book essays questionnaire. Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission in presenting a particular point in Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu, or presenting Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu book itself, both for us as well as for the society. This, if it is not fresh in our memory, we will struggle to answer this, or we will answer this based on our speculation. So this also comes out if we have read the chapter properly. If we have seen the slides, we will get this as well. But there is no paragraph starting Srila Prabhupada's mood in writing Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu is this. You will have to get it through inference. Any particular question or point on this? All right, we proceed. Then from introduction, we get Lord Krishna's position as Akhila Rasamrita Murti, as the source of all types of mellows. And these mellows we discussed in detail as part of our discussion on introduction. The primary rasas and the secondary rasas, the direct and the indirect rasas. So primary rasas, we are more or less familiar, because we have heard about examples of devotees falling in these various categories and what do these categories of mellows denote. And 7 indirect rasas, we also saw, I think Namanishta Prabhuji was also in this discussion, where he explained very nicely how various secondary rasas also are exhibited through Lord Krishna's pastimes. And we discussed the position of Srimati Radharani, who is mentioned across all the revealed scriptures as the devotee on the highest platform of devotion. Yes, now we come to chapter number 1, which is pure devotional service. So here again we went into the detail of what are the original characteristics and what is the Sanskrit word we use, Tatastha Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana, the original characteristics and the marginal characteristics of pure devotional service, with the help of the verse defining pure devotional service, anya abhilasita sunyam. This verse you can get either from the slide deck, or you can also get from the PDF that we will share later today. So, and we went into great details to understand how Krishna means Krishna as well as his expansions. We went into the detail of the chart, what all different types of expansions Krishna has, including Yuga Avatar, Leela Avatar, Manvantara Avatar, Guna Avatar, all these expansions of Lord Krishna, and how Krishna means Krishna plus all his expansions, all his devotees. And we also went into the details of the specific verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Shiva glorifies the worship of Krishna's devotees, Tadiyas, even better than the worship of Lord Krishna himself. And we also discussed the reference from beginning of chapter 7, where Narad Muni glorifies the fixation of consciousness upon Lord Krishna in any form, and he gives the reference. Basically, we refer to the chapter from beginning of chapter Canto 7, where it is mentioned how Lord Krishna is equal to all, and he gives the example of demons like Shishupal, Kamsa, who were completely fixed in their thinking, consciousness of Krishna, maybe in the negative manner, but because of that constant fixation, how they ultimately achieved the highest liberation. And why devotees should not have fixation or remembrance of Lord Krishna in their way. We discussed how they were big demons people of today's day and age are small demons. So our fixation of consciousness on Lord Krishna in demoniac manner cannot be equal to them. So better we fix in a favorable manner. So we discussed this definition, and we also discussed the collaborating evidences from the scriptures, which Srila Rupa Goswami states another definition of pure devotional service taken from Narada Pancharatra. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rushikena sevanam bhaktir uchyate. So this is also one definition we should memorize, we should keep for easy reference. And then we saw some of the quotations by Srila Rupa Goswami. This is third point, is very important. We discussed in great detail what are the 5 types of liberation and which type of liberation does a devotee desire based on teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We don't desire any type of liberations, but if at all Krishna wants to give, then we can accept any of the 4. But devotee cannot accept Sayujya Mukti, merging into the form of Krishna. Is there any question or comment on this before we proceed? Ankit, Prabhu, I'm not taking every devotee's name, but if you have any comment to share, you can share as well.
Prabhuji, this you will upload it on this presentation and upload
yes.
it.
Yes, Prabhuji. Each slide will get uploaded. Okay. Right. So we proceed. Then we move to chapter number 2. Let me just open the chapter. Yes. Characteristic. Sorry, this is still chapter 1. Yeah, chapter 1 plus some overlapping portion of chapter 2. The 6 characteristics of pure devotional service, starting with kleshagni, which destroys all the klesha. We discuss the meaning of klesha as either material distress or suffering, and it is shubhada, it is all auspicious. So for this we quoted from Srila Prabhupada's purport of 10.3, how everything apart from Krishna consciousness in this world is nothing else is auspicious. Only auspicious point is Krishna consciousness. Then we also discussed about moksha lagutakrut, how all the liberations stand insignificant in front of the devotional service. And in this also we discuss various pastimes, including the quotation by I believe it is by Srila Bilwa Mangal Thakur, that how liberation stands at his doorstep requesting for any service, since he has taken to the pure devotional service. We also discussed about the assembly conducted by Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar, where they invited Srila Haridas Thakur to discuss on the glories of the holy names. And we saw how this particular comment by Haridas Thakur, that holy name is so potent that the chanting of the holy names, liberation is automatically attained as a byproduct. And how one particular smart person, Gopal Chakravarti, he got very offended by this quotation by Srila Haridas Thakur, and he offended Haridas Thakur in a very strong language. Haridas Thakur not getting impacted, Gopal Chakravarti contacting leprosy, and Harinan Govardhan Majumdar throwing him out of the assembly, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastising him. So we saw this in great detail to understand how liberation is insignificant, and how what was the conviction of our acharyas in terms of the potency of devotional service, in terms of chanting of the holy names. We also discussed about devotional service being sudurlabha, with several quotations from Bhagavad Gita, Manushanam Sahastreshu. Then we also saw a few quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam. Even this morning, Namanishta Prabhuji quoted from Vratrasur's glorification, Muktanam Abhisiddhanam Narayana Parayana. So there are several quotations which are mentioned in the slides, which we went through to go through this. Then we also saw, okay. So Santosh Prabhu, you have mentioned a question. Please explain the connection between papam and bijam. We will come to this on the next slide. We'll go through this. Then we also discussed about how devotional service is condensed bliss. We correlated the verses which we have recently learned and by hearted and recited as part of unit 3, where Lord Krishna also corroborates to this. And then we also discussed Sri Krishna Akarshani, how devotional service attracts Krishna, that he can give anything else, but he will give pure devotional service only in the end, because he completely gives himself to such a devotee who is in pure devotion. And then we also discussed pure devotional service is so potent. Srila Prabhupada mentions, he explains with the concept of Daivi Varnashram, that as devotees, we don't really bother whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, based on the services that are granted to us. Even a Brahmana can perform the service of cleaning the washrooms, at the same time worshipping the deities on the altar, because both are part of devotional service. So this particular concept taught by our founder Acharya, we went through. And then we saw differentiation between Vaidhi and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi is basically compliance to the rules. Raganuga is basically spontaneous or developing the attachment. So we proceed. So don't get confused by these terms, first wave, second wave. Very simple. First wave is understanding the Krishna's position as Akila Rasamrita Bhuto. Second wave is general characteristics of the pure devotional service, the definition. Third is the sadhana bhakti, which includes Vaidhi and the Raganuga. And fourth include the higher levels, including the Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. So these are technical terms. Don't get too bogged down by it, trying to remember. Then this is the portion which, second point, we have still not started. As part of chapter 3, 4 and 5, we discussed about how devotional service is not dependent on anything else. On itself, it is sufficient to grant us perfection in our life. No other process we need to take shelter of if we are practicing pure devotional service. We also discussed, let me just open it. Yeah, we also discussed about the levels of devotees, Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttamadhikari. How do we differentiate between them? And the point about devotional service surpassing liberation, that also we covered in great detail. So as part of our upcoming discussions on chapter 6 and 7, we will go more into the details of these 64 items of sadhana bhakti, which are called as angas. Anga is nothing but different limbs, like this is our anga, hand, legs. So these are the limbs of devotional service, 64 items, which are again broken down by into 10 do's, 10 don'ts, which Srila Rupa Goswami gives. 10 plus 10, 20 plus 44. These 44 are the subdivision of remaining 44 items. And finally, Rupa Goswami also concludes, out of the 64, which are the most important angas, the 5 primary items for devotional service. We also discussed about the eligibility for accepting devotional service. We referred to 7.16 Srila Prabhupada's purport by saying how Srila Prabhupada mentions, while Sukruti is the requisite pious credit one should have for accepting devotional service, we also discussed in great length about the intervention of a pure devotee. If somehow or other one becomes interested in sincerely following the instructions of the pure devotee, even if he or she doesn't have the Sukruti, still he will advance. And we saw various examples, including that of Narada Muni serving Bhakti Vedantas and many other examples of devotees advancing very quickly because of sincerely following the instructions of the pure devotees. About liberation, we have discussed in detail, and independent nature also we discussed. Any question, comment any devotee has on this? So basically the beginning of 64 Angas we have not yet started. It will start in chapter 6, maybe our next discussion. And this is a very important topic for practicing devotees, especially to understand the sadhana chart that we are filling in. Yeah, so this is the last but one portion in Nectar of Devotion that we are going to study after Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti will go long way till chapter 16. Chapter 16 or 17, I will have to confirm. And after that, Bhava Bhakti will come, devotional service in ecstasy. Yeah, this is chapter 17, 18. So, which again gives various symptoms of a devotee in Bhava Bhakti, which are those. And you can see how much importance for the practicing devotee this is. Srila Rupa Goswami is covering it in a smaller way after covering sadhana bhakti in great detail. So we need to follow the rules and regulation first to come to this level. So I'm not going into the details because we haven't covered it yet. So we'll cover through our sessions. And finally, the last chapter for our Bhakti Shastri study scope is the chapter 19, which covers the fourth wave. So which is nothing but devotional service in pure love, Prema Bhakti. How one elevates from Bhava stage to this particular stage by the mercy of Guru Krishna. And we also see what are the destinations of devotees who go through the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti part. How do they perceive the position of Krishna and themselves, and what is the ultimate destination? And same for the Raga Nuga Bhaktas. So these are the only points which I had planned on a high level. Are there any questions, comments in terms of studying for this particular course for Nectar of Devotion? Can any of the devotees who also have taught NOD in level 3 just give their inputs if there are any things which I have missed, which we can include? Ankit Prabhu, Aishwarya Mataji, you want to share anything? Radhika Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, the only thing I would suggest is what you told, but we'd like to reiterate reading, Prabhu. Like all of us have a mistake of just reading and forgetting about it. But I think this one needs constant reading. This is what that's my personal view too. Yes, so I think we read prior to that and read one time after that also. Only then we'll be able to grasp the flow. But this is my personal opinion. I believe the rest.
Thank you, Radhika Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shailaja Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry, I had one doubt and one suggestion. I mean, if you can make something like a protocol or something like a table form, I think that would be easy for us to understand this mapping instead of going through like the paragraphs or the content in detail. That might be, since everyone is kind of finding it difficult to map in their mind. Something like a flow chart.
I can give the flow chart, Mataji. My only request to all the devotees is don't substitute your reading with the study of the flow chart. Okay, so use it as a skeleton to study the chapters. We can share the flow chart, not an issue.
Yeah, and I think it would be nice if everyone can make their own notes against those protocols. So that would be the second level, and then the detail can follow, I felt.
All right. Thank you, Shailaja Mataji.
One question I had, Prabhu. So since we are following this Sadhana Bhakti, is that the same as why the Sadhana Bhakti? Sorry, I got a bit confused.
Yeah. So within Sadhana Bhakti, there are two divisions of Sadhana Bhakti, Mataji. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and second is Raganuga Bhakti. Both fall under Sadhana Bhakti, which means devotional service in practice. So Vaidhi is following of the rules and regulation to comply with the injunctions of the scriptures and our predecessor acharyas. And Raganuga Bhakti is spontaneous following of the scriptural injunctions through attachment.
So is that like we begin with Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and then we shift into Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti and then we proceed. So we don't, in a long term, we don't, aim for the Vaikunta, but we shift into Raganuga Bhakti. So we aim for the Goloka over the time.
Yeah, and we don't manually shift it. The attachment is supposed to develop spontaneously. we gradually, by following the rules and regulations. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example. We discuss one example. Can anyone quote? What was the example? The example of a child learning to walk. Srila Prabhupada mentions that the walking ability is automatically there, but if we just handhold the child for some time, it will learn walking. So similarly, the devotional service is inherently present inside within each and every living entity. Just that if we follow the rules and regulations with the help of those, we will be able to revive it. It's not something we will bring from outside. Hare Krishna. Prakash Prabhu, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
I
Krishna.
just wanted to tell one observation that we had in level 3. Aishwarya Mataji would give in advance what she is going to take in the next class. We were supposed to read and come prepared. And before starting the class, she would ask few questions to realize that yes, they have read. And then she would start. And at the end, the repetition will be next time. So this is the only way. Before and after, if we don't read, it's very difficult to understand. Just a suggestion, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's important. We will also implement it. Basically, so just one point for the next discussion on 64 Angas. Please come prepared with chapter 6 and 7. But those of you who have not probably read or missed any 1 or 2 chapters, my request is please do start from preface. It's not much, it's not too long, just around 58 pages from preface till chapter 5, but you will get chapter 6, chapter 7 much better if you have read as a continuous part. So next sitting, we will go through chapter 6 and 7, 64 items of devotional service. And one more thing, with Valar Mataji, we have also planned a session to show how to perform Aarti, how to perform specifically the 5 primary Angas out of those 64 which are given by Srila Rupa Goswami. So probably the next session we will have 1 hour of discussion and 1 hour of practical practice. So next point, it is also mentioned by Reena Mataji, how about the assignments? So yes, we do have 2 open book assignments. I just want to be bit, I'm still thinking which can be these 2, because ideally they should be covering the overall all 19 chapters. So we don't have much leeway. So we will share the open book assignment as well, Reena Mataji. Okay, we'll share that. Any other point, question or thought anybody wants to share? Aishwarya Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. And my suggestion is to please listen to Prabhupada's NOD lectures, because I feel how much ever you read NOD, it doesn't go into your mind, exactly. But then if you hear from a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, I think those lectures are amazing. And I request all of them to keep repeatedly hear those lectures, which will really help Prabhu.
Sure, Mataji. And for everybody's reference, if you just go to YouTube and type Srila Prabhupada NOD, it will give you the whole series. So, and again, it will need some patience. Sit through and then you can listen to Srila Prabhupada's classes. And they are, as Mataji mentioned, they are very, very thorough. And Srila Prabhupada, this is the series which he got recorded. All right, so if there are no other questions, we can conclude slightly early. Let me just check if Namanishta Prabhuji is there.
Any attendance link, Prabhuji, today's class?
Yeah, let me just get it, Mataji, 1 second. Krishna. Just 1 second. Any other devotees have any questions or comments, or feel any point you still feel difficult? Maybe you read through once and then we can again come back. Yes.
Prabhu, can I request you to post that NOD lectures also in the link?
Sure.
Bhakti Shastri.
Okay.
For the benefit of. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
I've just posted the attendance link, so devotees can mark their attendance once. Right. So to conclude, I will just quickly go through the points that I will be coming back on the group. We'll come back with the memorization verses for NOD, mapping of the chapters, the flow chart, questionnaire for NOD, PDF containing the NOD verses, and YouTube link to Srila Prabhupada's classes on Nectar of Devotion. Any other point I have missed? If not, okay, we invested one full session, but I think this was important so that we don't just complete it, but we get all the devotees together.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was good.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, all the devotees. We are covering slightly before. Okay, we will next sitting we will go through chapter 6 and 7. So please come after reading these chapters. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Next class will be in because we'll be in the Puri Yatra, no, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Is there, no, Prabhuji?
Okay, hang on. So Puri Yatra is from 10th onwards, right, Mataji?
Yeah, but Prabhuji, 2 days before we'll be traveling, no, Prabhuji. 9th we'll be in the train.
Understand. So anyway, we will announce it. I will speak with Namanishta Prabhuji and we will just announce the next date for our NOD session.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare
And wish
Krishna.
all of you a great, blissful Jagannath Puri Yatra. I miss to be with all of you. I still have my desire, but let me see. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji. Arpanams,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you very much.
Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhyev
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Arpanams, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much.